Okay, so let's talk about it now, about one of the most anticipated movies of this year, and once and for all understand if the hate is real and if it is actually the worst Marvel movie ever. So just first, don't forget to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. It has a lot of the channel. So first, going into the theater, I was mostly concerned if I was going to be if this is going to be such a bad movie, but it took a chance and I tried to experience everything by myself. So I was surprised that the movie was actually better than most reviews were. So in my opinion, but it was a mid movie. Unfortunately, Marvel is dealing with these types of movies now, and I hope they do a turn of events. So without any spoilers, I will give my review. Okay, so this movie was good and it gave us a huge war with awesome CGI, almost no flaws, an awesome villain to substitute Thanos, a menacing villain that gave us a feeling that he's going to be a challenge for the next Avengers. But the side characters are shallow with very little to add on. Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie, was a weak character for me now, and I hope it develops better. Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas are important to the development of the movie. And her performance, Michelle's performance, was surprising. And Ant-Man was also great. And Hope, I think she would be better done, if you know. But was an overall good character. So in my opinion, this movie deserves an honest 6. It's worse than Ant-Man 1, but I think it's slightly better than the second one. So let's go to the spoilers now. So the movie begins, basically, with Ant-Man's daughter becoming a super genius all of a sudden and invading a GPS for the quantum world and sending a signal there. They are transported by a person who was at first banished but conquered everything in this world, which was Kang, who we later discovered that had a past with Janet because they lived together there. But she helped him build his multiverse ship that he felt there again. And after discovering that his plans, she destroys the engine using the pin particles to make it big and destroy the core, and making Ant-Man's arrival there on the quantum world was a good thing for Kang to recreate his machine once again. So with that, Hope, Janet, and Hank are also transported there, and they were gathering information with the Bill Murray's character, which was just a dumb cameo. And Ant-Man and Cassie were captured by Kang by MODOK, the corniest character in the movie. Like, he basically served as a complete joke because he is strange and you don't believe that he is actually real. They are led to Kang where and when he's tortured by him just like a baby, because Kang is so much powerful with his armor, with his telekinesis powers, with the lightnings on the projections that he does with his hands. He's just too powerful for them, and he's menacing from the beginning to end. Like, he is literally a conqueror, and you can feel him. Jonathan Majors did a fantastic job portraying this awesome villain, and I cannot wait to see him on Kang Dynasty beating all of the superheroes from the Avengers. And then the Ant-Man kind of helps him to retrieve his machine because he was threatening to kill her daughter, and it was pretty convincing for me going inside. So he needed to go inside the core of this machine and find himself miss against all the possibilities that might happen. So a bunch of clones of him happen. So if you see the trailer, there's a part where it's like a lot of clones of him. This was inside the machine, and then they make a move with Hope and helps him to get the orb back, and then they try to defeat Kang again, and Kang just, with one finger he just almost kills them. So after being captured, Cassie makes a riot with all of the aliens that were in this quantum realm, that were in the planet, trying to conquest Kang's castle, which wasn't a castle. It was a bigger machine that he was going to use as a ship to go through the multiverse and destroy all the other worlds to maintain balance, just like in the Loki show, but it was a friendlier Kang, if you know. And then the fighting sequence happens with Ant-Man, not only during the last scenes, but during the movie. There was, like, for example, a monster coming in to try to kill him and Cassie. The CGI for him to go big and then kill this monster, or him to defeat other enemies, was awesome CGI. I think there was almost no flaws in there. And at the end, this rebellion is trying to reach out to Kang, and they pass through all of his security, but at the end it just comes down to Kang, and then he's too overpowered and he easily annihilates most of them using his lasers to just kill all of them. They just vanish with his powers, and make him look so much powerful from now on. But at the end, when everyone was shrunk down, just like Hank, Janet, everyone who came to the realm. The ants were also shrunk, but they were used by Hank to infiltrate in his castle, because there were so many ants, and they just destroyed Kang's armor. And the movie ends with Ant-Man fighting Kang, now a little bit underpowered because now his suit is broken, and even then he is way more powerful, maybe more powerful than Ant-Man also. But Hope goes there to save him with her lasers, and then destroy the engine, basically shrinking the engine, and then Kang is sucked down to it, so he kind of dies. But the probability that the other movie from Kang Dynasty is another Kang from another reality, just like this one but more powerful, is just 100%, because all of them have arrived at the end of the movie. I'm gonna talk about that later. But I think what made probably this movie bad, that a lot of people didn't like it, was basically because of MODOK's visual, because he was too corny, he was too strange, he died in a very strange way. He had some jokes with Cassie, they were so idiot. Like, I didn't get the comedy at all in most of the things, but I think when they didn't have too many comedy, some of them went right, but some of them were a little bit strange. But I think it was okay for the majority of the movie. They need to understand that the Ant-Man is the kind of character that, just like Deadpool, has an infinite amount of jokes. Another thing that was also not that good was the rebellion that was on this quantum realm was so random. Like, this rebellion, I'm sorry, I don't know, I think they might have used a little better. Also, Bill Murray, for example, he was such a big actor, and they used like for 5 minutes, it was almost like a cameo, and he seemed like a big plot with Michelle Pfeiffer, that they were part of a rebellion of there. They could exploit there more. For the 5 minutes he was in the movie, he was awesome. And because it's not a different movie, it's like a generic movie. And some of the latest Marvel movies are, at least this movie was connected to some things from the main thing, like because the Phase 4 movies weren't to correlate with each other or connected with the main story. And I think they're gonna connect all of them now with King Dynasty. But the visual effects were there, they were flawless. Like, I didn't have any problem with any of it. Even with MODOK, all the creatures, they didn't have some personal identity, some were strange, but they were beautiful for me. They weren't perfect, but they were beautiful. They showed all of the variants of Kang in the end of the movie, for the post-credit scene, just like Rick and Morty type, with a lot of variants, predicting that we will see another Kang variety also in Loki 2. The second post-credit scene was Loki and Owen Wilson seeing Kang in another universe, some other multiverse, like it seems like it was in the past, and it's gonna be connected to the universe now. And so yeah, this is the review. So it's a mid movie, but I think you will enjoy it. So I'll see you guys on the next video. So goodbye and peace.